Hey, in this video I am taking my client from pretty long hair down to the middle of her back, and she is shortening it up and going quite a bit blonder than what she is already. She's been doing highlights for many years and she wants to try something different. This is the picture that she pointed out to me. Knowing her, I don't think she realizes how blonde this actually is. So I still take her quite a bit blonder, not quite as bright white as the picture, and she was really happy with it. So of course at first I cut the length off that we don't want to put color on. You don't want to leave that on there and then end up cutting it all off, so just cut that first. I first sectioned it all off into 5 clean sections: the top, the 2 sides, the crown, and then this underneath part. I'm just underneath doing your basic, back to basic balayage pattern where you paint it on, then use the board to thoroughly get the ends. The picture she showed me, it's pretty much all blonde, even all the ends, but I'm not doing that to her. I'm gonna put a lot of really, really bright ones in there. But she doesn't have time to come in to get her hair upcut quite a bit. She has 2 kids and basically a farm at her house and a full-time job and a husband. I just know that she's gonna get roots and it's gonna bother her sooner than she would expect. So I'm doing this pattern. That way it's kind of a rooty look, so as it grows out it blends in really, really well. As I get towards the top, I end up doing really heavy baby lights. When you have a client show you a picture and it's quite a bit different than what they usually get, take into consideration their lifestyle. And knowing that she's been a client of mine for a while, and actually a friend of mine for quite a few years, I know her lifestyle. I know that if I actually did take her as blonde as she asked for, she wouldn't be happy with it. So doing the heavy baby lights on top with a kind of painted highlights on the ends, a little bit of balayage in between the foil, she'll be happy with it. She'll feel quite a bit brighter, yet she's not gonna have to stress about the upkeep. You're doing the highlights. When you get to the root, turn the brush vertically instead of horizontally. It'll keep it from having a solid line and grow out in a more staggered pattern, just kind of going up higher in some spots than others at the root area, and then dragging obviously the color through the rest of the hair. Make sure to always lift the hair up and look underneath and sweep up the lightener anywhere that needs to be blended in a little bit better. The underneath should be just as blended up as their top. I'm just going ahead and cutting out when I get to her left side, since you can't see that as well, and you can see this right side better when I do it. That way the video isn't so long. It took me quite a while to put her lightener on, so it just gets us through this video faster so you can see the end result. Here's another way of doing the balayage, is painting it on the ends first, going up the sides a little bit, and then sweeping your brush backwards up the hair and blending it in that way. Or you can start with a V first, then go to the ends. It's kind of whatever I feel like and whatever I think it's going to work best in the hair. I just continue doing the same pattern all the way up the crown. When I started in the back, I mixed 20 volume peroxide with Flash Lift from REDKEN. And then when I got to the top right here, when I started up here, I remixed using 30 volume peroxide with REDKEN Flash Lift. That way it can all meet up together at the same time. I also added a 1/16 ounce Olaplex to each bowl mixture of 1.5 ounces of lightener. I do the highlights above her ear and around her face extremely fine. That way as she pulls it up, it blends in, because you got to remember, again, it's going to be growing out, and she pulls her hair up a lot, and I want it to stay soft for quite a while, not just the first 3-4 weeks. Here in the temple area, since her hair is really fine, see how very lightly handed I take that weave out, and how thin the section was that I weaved it out from. I want these hairs to look, to be very see-through. That way, they're on the hair of the temple lines a lot finer. And if your weave is too big, it'll just look really spotty and chunky right there. It won't be soft or blend in. Then this little corner piece I take out by itself and do a really, really thin baby highlight there. I don't even think I weaved it. I think I just sliced the very top of it. It'll leave a nice money piece per se in that temple area. I know people mainly put the quote-unquote money pieces in the bangs, which I did, but it won't hurt to have a nice bright piece around her face on the sides. Here's a side-by-side of her before and after. You can tell she's quite a bit blonder than she originally came in with, but not quite as bright as the picture she showed me that she wanted originally. She's actually glad that I did not take her that light. She did not realize how bright it was. This was quite a bit of a shock to her. She really liked it, but it's definitely blonde enough for her. So I'm glad we did what we did, and I made that decision, and it turned out well. I did tone with REDKEN shades, the 9V, 9P, and clear equal parts for 10 minutes. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please subscribe if you would like to see more, and click that little bell to the right of the subscribe button to get notified when I do add videos. I try to weekly, or if not more. Thank you much, and goodbye.